Hello, Year 7, and welcome to Social Studies. You may be thinking, I don't know what Social Studies is, you may have never heard of it. Well, this panel, I'm going to talk about what we do at Royal Marsh and kind of what Social Studies is. Now, you may notice, for those of you that did the pledge, did the transitions, that we've got the pledges. So there's 3 pledges, and we'll talk about how we fit the pledges into Social Studies. So, Social Studies team, there's a picture of me. My name is Mrs. Mayfield and I'm Head of Social Studies. And that's my email address if you ever need to contact me. So you may be thinking, well, are you on your own? I'm not. There are lots of different people who teach Social Studies. That's why we haven't got all the pictures. And it might be the same person that teaches you PE or maybe science. Last year we had music teachers, we had English teachers. So lots and lots of different people teach the subject. So what is it? Well, what it is it's 3 different things really. We look at what's called PSHE, which is Personal, Social, Health and Economic Education. We do a bit of careers, and we look at something called British values. So what are they? Well, PSHE, it's a bit about kind of life skills, things that you need when you leave school, in school, things that might help you become be like better citizens when you leave school. So things like looking after yourself, being safe online, having a healthy diet, maybe thinking about kind of mental well-being and maybe issues that you might be struggling with and how we can help you through that. We also do careers. So kind of what is careers? We look at maybe aspirations. You may be thinking, well, I'm in year 7. I'm not going to still got another few years yet. When we start in year 7 to maybe think about what jobs are out there, what careers are out there to help you kind of think about what it is that you might want to be when you do leave RCS. And British values. So British values, we look at kind of what is law, what is the government, how do these things work, how does the politics work, and how does police work, how are laws made, so different things about kind of being a British citizen. Now, within social studies, it changes what we teach because the nature of social studies is we very much do what you guys need. So it might be that we need to focus on certain things, but at the minute, the topics that we're going to study are skills for life. So when you come up into Royal Marsh, we're going to be looking at things that might help you go through life, go through your school career. Some of you might be struggling with coming up to secondary school. So we look at skills that might help you with that transition. We also, in the next topic, look at introduction to friendship. So you'll be thinking, well, I'm in year 7, I've got friends. Or we look at kind of, as you get older, friendships develop, friendships change. So we look at what is a healthy friendship? What is a healthy relationship? What's a healthy friendship online? Because obviously now there's a lot of things online. So when does that friendship not become okay? We look at a topic called healthy body and healthy mind. So we look at kind of what makes our body healthy, but then maybe what makes our mind healthy. What do we need to do to help support our mental health as much as our physical health? We look at body changes in puberty, because whether we like it or not, all of you are going to go through puberty if you've not done already. So we're going to look at, well, what is puberty? How does our body change? What is it that's going to happen to us? And also maybe dealing with some of those worries, because it is quite a scary time. And we look at kind of how we can help and move through that. We also look at relationship boundaries and introduction to the law. So you've done friendship. We're now going to look at, well, where are those boundaries and what happens if we break boundaries? What happens if we break the law? What is the law? How does the law work? What is British values? What are the government? So we'll look at in that unit. And then the final one we do is safety in and out of the home. So things like road safety, bit of first aid. What happens if you see someone that's had an accident? How can you support that person? So those are some of the things that we look at in year 7. Now, you may be thinking, well, is there a GCSE in social studies? No, but we look at helping you get ready and prepared for kind of life outside the school and life in school whilst you're with us. So some of the skills that we look to develop are things like communication and debate. So discussion is a very, very, very big part of social studies. There'll be a lot of opportunities for you to discuss lots of different topics and have a debate, because it might be that you think differently to somebody else in that class, and that's okay. And within socials, we aim to kind of build on those skills and develop those skills. We look at identifying risk, so identifying risk online, offline, and how you can kind of cope with that. So if you are struggling with certain things and you are identifying something that might be a little bit risky, what can you do to help cope with that? We look at support. Whilst at primary school, you'll have had lots of support And when you're coming up to secondary, you might be thinking, well, who do I go to now? Where do I go if I'm struggling? And within social studies, for each different kind of topic, we'll look at different places where you can access support. Tolerance and respect, that's a big one in social studies. Think about those British values, those laws. We think about, well, what is it? What is respect? How do we show respect? Treating people the same way as we want to be treated. This idea of tolerance. These are kind of things that we look at within social studies. Making healthy life decisions. So we give you options and things that might help you make the right choice about your life. So things like sleep. You may, because of routines have changed, maybe not be in a very good sleep routine at the minute. And in socials, we might look at ways about why sleep's important, and then ways to help you have a more positive sleep life. So sleep diaries, things like that. Group work. Some of you will be thinking, yes, I love working in a group. Others of you will be thinking, oh no, this is awful. I hate working in a group. And these are the kind of things, skill that we have to learn. So for some people, it's a skill that comes quite easily. For other people, it's a skill that we need to work on, and that's something that we'll do within social studies. Lots of different opportunities for you to work with different groups of people. We look at presentation skills. Again, some of you will be thinking, yeah, I like presenting. I'm quite happy standing up in front of a class and doing a PowerPoint presentation. Whereas some of you will be thinking, nope, hate that, don't like that. And we look at ways that you can develop your presentation skills. We're not going to make you stand up and do a presentation straight away, but it's something we can work towards and build. Maybe by looking at certain topics that you find enjoyable, you might feel more comfortable and want to have a go at presenting little things. And enterprise skills. So skills for work, skills for life. What kind of things that we do to help you prepare for life? Now, what does a lesson look like? So in social studies, it's going to be a bit strange, because what we would do within normal social studies lessons is a lot of talk, a lot of communication, a lot of questions. And obviously I'm talking to a computer screen right now, so I can't ask you all these kind of questions that I would do if I was in front of you. So you'll have to bear with me. If you can talk to the person next to you, then if you're in a classroom, this might be a really good chance to do that. If not, just have a think, and I'll talk you through what we would do if we're in a lesson. I want you to think though, what do you think we might be learning about with this starter? So what activities do you think we'll be looking at in the rest of this lesson? So there are 6 pictures here. I want you to think about which of these is a need and which of these is a want. So which of these would you say that you need to have in your life, and which of these would you say you want to have? Now the answer is you need to eat. So the first one, it could be a need, because yes, you do need to have food, but do we need sweets? Do we need ice cream? Probably not. So then maybe that becomes a want. Got the t-shirts, well, we need clothes, we need t-shirts, but do we need one with a logo on? Probably not. We might want one with a logo on. We might want the green one because we think it's nicer than the blue one. But is it a need? And with the shoes, now you may be thinking, oh, I like the look of the red cool, like trainery ones, but you might need the black ones for school. So needs and wants become a little bit kind of cross, don't they? A little bit confusing. Let's look at these ones. Sometimes your need and want can vary on a situation. So you might want a car. Do you need a car? Well, I know lots of people who don't have a car, but do we need it? Or is it just that we want a car? Or what if you've got a big family, you're going shopping, then maybe that want becomes a need. And that's when it starts to get around a bit confusing. Do we need, do we want? Anyone got what we think might be talking about in lessons yet? Needs or wants can change. Now, I don't know about you, when everything was shut down, there were certain things that I wanted. So I really felt like I really needed a KFC. So things like Starbucks, you might really kind of feel like you want, you need this Starbucks. But is it a need or is it just a want? Well, it's probably just a want, isn't it? For some people, it might be a need. So our wants can be somebody else's needs. And then which is a need, which is a want? Well, they're both apples, aren't they? They're both apples. But they're very, very different types, aren't they? Not all apples are the same. Not all needs and not all wants are the same. Now, what we would do in this lesson is this lesson's a starter, which leads us on to talking about finances. And what we would learn about in this lesson in year 7 is we're looking at healthy and unhealthy money habits. When does a need become a want? Now, I'm sure all of you have felt, I definitely have, I need something, when actually it probably is just a want. I don't need a KFC. I'd like a KFC, but do I need one? Probably not. Could I spend my money more wisely? I probably could. And that's about we're reflecting on maybe how we spend money and how we look at our monies. And looking at a budget. What is a budget? So this is the kind of start that we would then look at and go on to talking about finances. So what else do we do? Now you might have noticed at the beginning we have the pledges, and on that slide there in the corner there was a pledge. Now within social studies what we do is we work closely with your tutor, and what we try and do in your head of year is give you opportunities to have a go at these pledges. So at the start of a lesson you might see a slide like this, so life skills, and you'll see the pledges, the things that you need to do to earn your Royal Marsh pledges. Now these ones are all life skills. So the very first column where it says achieve 20 praise points in a single term and or win a curriculum award is a bronze pledge. Create and use a revision source to improve your attainment in a subject is a bronze pledge. And what we would do in social studies, if there was an opportunity, so if we've been learning about something that we thought might be a really good way for you to go and have a go at earning a pledge, you might put something like this on the board. A challenge. So a social studies challenge to get you to go away and have a go at getting a pledge that you've missed. Now it might be that you've already done this pledge, so you might challenge yourself to complete a different one. But what we would do is try and challenge all of you to have a go at getting this bronze pledge. So this lesson, the lesson this came from, we were looking at making friends and supporting one another. So the idea would then be you go away and you have a go at getting a bronze pledge. And that is social studies. So hopefully you learnt something about social studies. We very much look forward to seeing you in September and very much look forward to teaching you social studies. See you soon.